The season opens with Aileen pacing around, clearly uneasy. No matter how much she tries to calm herself, one thought keeps looping in her head: sending Sejun to the 67th floor was a mistake. Locusts weren't exactly beginner-friendly enemies, and Sejun was still, technically, a tower farmer, unable to sit still. She looks at the orb and decides to contact her grandfather. The interface asks if she wants to lift the block. She clicks yes, and immediately regrets it as her grandfather bursts out crying, begging forgiveness and promising to behave if she doesn't block him again. Aileen cuts straight to the point. She asks if Sejun, sent as a mid-manager to handle the locusts, will be alright. Her frustration slips out. Despite being the tower administrator, she can't directly help him. Her grandfather, surprisingly calm now, tells her not to worry. He reminds her of the human he once saw. Someone who entered the Black Tower on his own, survived the 99th floor with bare hands, gathered countless allies, and grew at an absurd rate. And most importantly, Sejun is the representative of the Black Dragon, chosen by Aileen herself. In short, he'll be fine. Cut to the battlefield. Sejun casually chews on a green onion like a lollipop while the fight begins. Teo tears through locusts with his claws, the little bear smashes them with a branch, the white rabbit fires magic, and the black rabbit protects her. Sejun slices straight through the swarm, and Teo proudly points out that bringing extra antidote green onions was a genius move. Then things escalate. Red locusts turn purple. Bad news. That means the population has exploded. The white rabbit fires a water cannon, blasting locusts apart while visibly regretting every life choice that led her here. System messages roll in. Guardians are killing purple locusts, and Sejun is getting half the EXP. He smirks. This isn't a crisis anymore, it's a leveling opportunity. Sejun hurls his axe straight into a locust, and before he can even blink, the little bear smoothly covers his back like it's done this 1,000 times. Then, bad timing, a locust suddenly charges straight at Sejun. Teo completely loses it. This is bad. Chairman Park is in danger. Sejun, glowing calmly with blue energy, doesn't even flinch. He just says he's fine, and then releases a massive burst of power. The shockwave is so intense that Teo freezes on the spot, mouth hanging open, while the white rabbit stares in disbelief like she just saw her boss unlock a hidden DLC character. The axe flies back into Sejun's hand, and he explains casually that flame gave him the flame of protection before they came. Catching the axe, he adds, very matter-of-factly, that he's not exactly weak anymore. The little bear immediately shouts, "Dad, you're so reliable." Meanwhile, the white rabbit sighs and mutters that if only the Black Dragon hadn't destroyed the Red Ribbon Kingdom in the past, things might have been easier now. Timing really is everything. Sejun hesitates for a moment, then admits the obvious problem. There are just too many locusts. Teo's ears droop as he complains that this is exhausting and that they might run out of antidote green onions first, which, at this point, are basically their lifeline. The Black Rabbit agrees, clearly worn out. And even the little bear's swings are starting to slow. Sejun looks around at everyone and realizes that at the same time, they're all reaching their limit. Grinding his teeth, he mutters that if only the Minotaurs were here, then immediately corrects himself. No, what they really need is Iona, the head of the Mage Guild. And then it hits him. Huh? He pulls out a key, eyes lighting up. Right, he doesn't need to wish for help, he can just bring her here. Meanwhile, the locusts keep rushing in non-stop, completely unaware that Sejun just figured out how to call in magical artillery. Without wasting a second, Sejun activates Dimensional Prison and walks right up to the door like this is a perfectly normal thing to do. He knocks. Iona! The door opens, and Iona steps out looking confused, mid-thought, mid-work. She starts to speak, saying the upgrade is almost done. Then immediately starts coughing. She covers her mouth and looks around in horror. What is this toxic air? Sejun skips all explanations and goes straight for the emergency button. He tells her he needs her help. Iona follows his gaze, her eyes widening as she finally notices what's charging at them. Are those purple locusts? The swarm rushes in aggressively. But Iona doesn't panic. Her staff begins to glow purple, lightning crackling wildly around her like the sky itself is getting angry. She raises it and fires. Giga lightning! A massive storm of lightning explodes across the battlefield, bolts dancing through the sky like a very violent festival fireworks show. Locusts drop everywhere. Everyone just stares in awe. Sejun can't help it. He openly praises her, because honestly, how could he not? Then the system interrupts the moment. A mid-manager quest appears. Exterminate the purple locusts on the 67th floor. The rewards are huge. The condition for failure is terrifying. And the progress counter? Barely scratched. Sejun stares at the numbers and completely loses his composure. He starts counting, realizes how many are left, and panics. There are still hundreds of millions of purple locusts roaming around. That's not a battle, that's an ecosystem. Iona, clearly trying to stay calm, tells him it'll be fine. Once their numbers drop enough, the purple locusts will revert back to red ones, making them much easier to deal with. Unfortunately, right after saying that, she starts coughing again and collapses. Teo catches her just in time and immediately diagnoses the problem: locust poison. He panics, shoves an antidote green onion into her hands, and tells her to eat it, now. Iona weakly calls his name. And Teo, somehow using this as a motivational speech, gushes about how incredible her magic is and how relieved he is that she's on their side. Iona blushes while chewing the onion, which is probably not how healing items are supposed to work, but it works. The black rabbit focuses, listening carefully, then announces that he doesn't sense any locusts nearby anymore. Sejun lets out a long sigh of relief. For the first time in a while, they're safe. He suggests taking a break inside the dimensional prison, quickly correcting himself and calling it dimensional storage instead, because branding matters. Everyone steps inside, and freezes. The place is beautifully decorated. Even Sejun is stunned. He turns to Iona, genuinely impressed, and asks if she did all this. Iona proudly replies that something this simple was easy for her. That's when Sejun has a realization. If he can use this dimensional storage like this, he can summon his comrades anytime, without even officially making them subordinates. His brain immediately starts planning 5 steps ahead. While he's deep in thought, he notices something strange. The little bear is chewing enthusiastically. Sejun asks what it's eating. The little bear lifts it up proudly and explains that lightning-struck locusts are delicious. Sejun instinctively backs away. Teo adds that they really don't look like something anyone should eat. Then Sejun smells it, a surprisingly good smell. He freezes, memories resurfacing. Right, locusts used to taste like chicken. He slowly turns to Iona, who looks back at him, and with the seriousness of a man discovering a new food business opportunity in the middle of a crisis. Sejun asks if she can modify the brazier just a little. Iona agrees. After a while, an incredible aroma starts spreading through the dimensional storage. It hits first, the rabbits freeze. Then the little bear's nose twitches. Even Sejun starts drooling without realizing it. Wow, this is insane. The little bear straight up starts dancing in place, overwhelmed by happiness. And right on cue, the system chimes in. An achievement unlocks, the first person to cook roasted purple locust in the tower. A brand new recipe gets registered, Sejun's cooking level jumps, and the dish even gains a special effect. Not bad for something that was trying to kill them 5 minutes ago. The description reads like gourmet propaganda. Stuffed with antidote green onion, roasted over indirect heat, perfectly detoxified, tender, savory, and somehow grants low-level poison resistance. The chef? Tower Farmer Sejun Park. Grade C+, which honestly feels low for this level of creativity. Sejun lifts the locust off the grill and proudly announces that everyone should try some. The little bear's eyes light up instantly. Teo, meanwhile, takes a cautious step back. He admits it smells amazing, but roasting it whole feels like crossing some kind of moral line. Before he can finish, the little bear snatches it. Then I'll eat it instead. Sejun panics and shouts that it must be hot, but it's too late. Luckily, the little bear's paws are thick enough to ignore basic laws of heat transfer. He gently blows on it, takes a big bite, tears into it, and then licks his lips in pure satisfaction. That reaction changes everything. Sejun and Teo watch with growing anticipation. Teo mutters that the way he's eating it makes it look dangerously convincing. Iona hesitates, then quietly asks if they should try it too. Sejun immediately hands them more. There's plenty, he says, so eat slowly. Everyone takes a piece. They bite. And instantly freeze. Sejun's eyes widen as he blurts out the truth. It's delicious. Not just edible, not surprisingly okay. It tastes exactly like roasted electric chicken. Outside the storage, the aroma drifts into the air, rich and irresistible. Somewhere nearby, 3 monsters with glowing triple eyes stop moving at the same time. One of them mutters the only reasonable response. Whatever that is, it smells amazing. After the heavy meal, everyone quickly passes out. Full stomachs, warm space, zero stress, instant knockout. Teo, however, is the unlucky one. He stumbles outside rubbing his eyes, holding his stomach. I ate too much. I'm so bloated I can't sleep. He pats his belly and sighs, deciding a short walk might help digestion. Very bad idea. From behind, a shadow approaches. A monster quietly sneaks up, carrying a large bag. Before Teo can react, the bag drops over his head. Teo panics and screams. He's shoved face first into the swamp, gasping as muddy water fills his mouth. What is happening? Oof. A furious frog roars at him, accusing him of releasing the bugs into Navia's swamp. Because of that, countless comrades died. While shouting, the frog presses Teo down harder, nearly drowning him. Teo, completely confused and terrified, yells that he has no idea what the frog is talking about. The frog doesn't care. He declares that Teo is just the beginning, that the rest will be dealt with next. That's when Teo desperately blurts out his identity. Wait! I'm a mid-level wandering merchant of the tower. The frog immediately calls it a lie. No wandering merchant would come this deep into the swamp. Another frog steps in and tells him to check Teo's neck. They spot the badge. Silence. It really is a wandering merchant's badge. Teo finally gets a breath of air, coughing like his life just flashed before his eyes. But the frogs aren't convinced yet. They start questioning why a merchant would be wandering around Navia Swamp, suggesting the badge could be fake or stolen. Teo, on the verge of tears, shouts that it's all a misunderstanding. He explains they came to eliminate the purple locusts and save the jewel frogs. Then he drops the biggest name he can think of. He claims he's the subordinate of the tower's administrator, the Black Dragon. The frogs freeze. Black Dragon. Teo points frantically toward the nearby door and says if they don't believe him, they should knock. The Black Dragon is sleeping inside. And whoever dared to disturb that sleep, or treat his subordinate like this, would regret it. The frogs panic instantly. They start whispering, arguing, completely unsure what to do. Teo joins in, equally panicked. Yeah, what do we do? After a moment, one frog speaks up. Since they can't decide, they'll take Teo to Lord Garen. Teo stiffens. Garen. Before he can protest, they tie him to a stick and hoist him onto two frogs' shoulders like a captured wild animal. As they carry him away, Teo screams at the top of his lungs. Chairman Park, save me! His voice echoes into the distance. Inside the storage, Chairman Park is peacefully asleep, casually picking his ear, completely unaware that his most dramatic subordinate is being kidnapped right outside. As Teo is being carried away, he completely loses his composure and starts shouting at the top of his lungs. Ugh! I am the mid-level wandering merchant, Lord Teo. Put me down. That's an order. The frogs eventually get fed up and toss him unceremoniously beside a river. One of them sighs in relief, complaining about how noisy he is. Another frog removes the cloth covering his face and apologizes, explaining they've lost too many comrades recently and couldn't afford to take risks. That's when it hits Teo like a lightning strike. What? You guys are jewel frogs? His fear instantly flips into pure outrage. He jumps up and starts scolding them, shouting that they came here specifically to save them. After all the brutal fighting against the purple locusts, this is how he gets treated? As he's ranting, a deep, commanding voice echoes from the pond. How dare you? Teo freezes and slowly turns around. The water begins to bubble. Then, slowly, a massive frog rises from the pond, radiating pressure with every movement. The voice comes again, louder. Who dares? Teo's tail curls tightly between his legs, his whole body trembling. The giant frog declares himself, the king of the jewel frogs, Lord Garen, accusing Teo of harming him and his brethren. Garen leaps forward, sending a huge wave of water crashing down and nearly knocking Teo unconscious. A nearby frog hurriedly explains that they brought Teo from the most poisonous area of the swamp. Garen glares down at him and accuses him directly of releasing the cursed bugs into Navia Swamp. Teo tries to stand but collapses, groaning that it hurts and that he's scared. Then suddenly straightens up, is what the old me would have said. He forces himself upright, declaring that he's the future great wandering merchant and won't fall over something like this anymore. Puffing out his chest, he boldly announces his full title, the mid-level wandering merchant, Golden Cat Teo, and demands compensation for being kidnapped, threatened, and humiliated. Garen raises a foot, ready to crush him, calling him a tiny thing. Teo immediately panics, shrinks back, and screams for help. A frog rushes in and begs Garen to wait, reminding him that Teo claims to be a subordinate of the Black Dragon. That gives Garen pause. If it's true, harming him could cause serious trouble. And Teo did say he fought the very bugs they were helpless against. Teo smugly says he told them so. Garen scoffs, saying it's impossible. Even he is still recovering from a locust poison, there's no way someone that small handled them. Teo snaps back, digs into his bag, and pulls out roasted locusts. He confidently says that if Garen eats this, he'll be fine, thanks to the antidote green onion stuffed inside. The frogs stare in confusion. Before anyone can stop him, Garen's tongue shoots out, snatches the locust, and stuffs it into his mouth. One frog panics, yelling that he shouldn't eat random things, but it's too late. Garen swallows. He clutches his stomach. Ugh, my body. Everyone panics, until a dazzling light erupts from him. The grime fades away, his body gleaming like polished jade. Garen blinks, amazed. He says he feels refreshed, then his eyes widen. And what is this? It's super delicious. The toxins are completely gone. Got any more? Teo instantly switches into full merchant mode, laughing slyly and admitting he kept extras, just in case. Extending his paw, he asks if Garen is now ready to discuss a deal. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the 67th floor, a lizard demon slashes through locusts but suddenly starts coughing violently. A panda shouts that the numbers aren't decreasing at all. A wolf rushes in, reporting they're running out of antidote green onions. The lizard looks at the endless swarm and wonders if this is the end. Then a tongue shoots in. It grabs a massive clump of locusts, tens of thousands at once, and eats them whole. The lizard and the others freeze in shock as a giant frog cheerfully pats his stomach. Garen starts spinning his tongue like a helicopter, vacuuming up locusts with terrifying efficiency. The lizard pulls off his mask and demands to know who, or what, he is. Garen proudly introduces himself as the king of jewel frogs and master of Navia Swamp. Teo steps forward and adds loudly that Garen is now his subordinate, holding up a freshly made contract. Two frogs whisper among themselves, unsure if this is really okay. One points out that, contract or not, Teo did save their king. Teo grins and points ahead, telling Garen to eat to his heart's content. Back at the storage, Sejun finally wakes up, still groggy, and wonders where Teo went. The little bear lets out a massive yawn, which wakes the black rabbit too. While somewhere far away, Teo is accidentally reshaping the battlefield through pure salesmanship. After a while, Sejun finally notices the obvious problem. Teo isn't there. He gets up and claps his hands. Is everyone ready? The little bear immediately grabs a wooden stick and shouts that he's ready. The black rabbit confirms as well. Sejun nods. We're going to find Teo. The white rabbit tilts her head, worried, asking where Lord Teo could have gone alone in the middle of the night. Iona adds the very reasonable concern that the outside is still crawling with locusts. That's exactly why we have to hurry, Sejun replies. Behind them, the black rabbit turns to the white rabbit and declares, very seriously, that no matter what happens, he will protect her. The white rabbit smiles sweetly and calls him her knight. That's it. The black rabbit turns bright red. Sejun clears his throat and announces he's opening the door. Slowly, dramatically, the door opens, and everyone charges out, ready for battle. Come at us, you bugs. They brace themselves. Nothing happens. No locusts, no movement, no chaos. Everyone freezes. Sejun squints. Is this area still safe? The black rabbit signals everyone to wait and listens carefully. After a moment, his expression changes. Something huge is heading this way. Sejun panics. What? The white rabbit guesses it might be a new type of locust. Iona immediately shuts that idea down. There's no way something like that exists. Sejun tells everyone to brace themselves. And then it appears. A massive frog leaps forward and lands right in front of them. The sheer presence is overwhelming, so much swagger that Sejun can barely open his eyes. The black rabbit gets blown away, while the white rabbit somehow holds her ground. Then a familiar voice cuts in. What's this? Were you all waiting for me? Iona blinks. Lord Teo? Sejun rushes forward. Teo! Are you okay? Teo casually waves it off. He's fine. Then, pointing proudly, he introduces the giant frog. This one here is my subordinate, Garen. Sejun freezes. Your subordinate? Teo explains that thanks to Garen, they wiped out a massive number of purple locusts. The frog looks at Sejun, recognizes the crest of the black dragon, and bows respectfully, thanking him for the food that made their victory possible. Sejun mutters, confused, wondering if this frog is different from the ones on the 75th floor. Iona explains that Garen is a jewel frog, the very species they were tasked with protecting, and not just any jewel frog. He's their king. She looks at Teo, slightly flustered. To make a being like that his subordinate, all by himself, just what exactly is Lord Teo? Teo beams and turns to Sejun. Chairman Park, I did well, right? Sejun is speechless for a moment before awkwardly agreeing and asking how he even managed that. Teo immediately hugs his leg and demands treats for doing such a great job. Sejun sighs, opens the door, and suggests they talk inside. Then he looks at Garen, and the silence gets awkward. He finally admits the problem. He'd love to invite him in, but the entrance is very small. Garen nods. No problem. He suddenly starts glowing like a light bulb. Sejun and Teo both cover their eyes, yelling that it's blinding. When the light fades, the massive frog is gone, replaced by a small, chubby, adorable frog. Teo stares in shock. He can shrink too. Garen says it's nothing special. Sejun smiles. Perfect. Then let's eat together. Later, Iona finally scolds Teo, shouting that they were extremely worried when he disappeared in the middle of the night. Teo, casually licking cat food, says nothing serious happened, quietly adding to himself that it's probably better not to mention the kidnapping and near-death experience. Sejun announces that the food is done, breaking the tension. Everyone looks over and immediately starts drooling. He made frog soup. The system pops up with a detailed description, a carefully simmered dish using thin-sliced purple locust meat, heat-up green onions, and strength potatoes. Detoxified, enhanced, long-lasting, and packed with buffs. Strength boost, corrosion resistance, long fullness, basically battle fuel in a bowl. Sejun lines everyone up and starts serving. The little bear already gulps his down. Some frogs line up neatly for theirs. The white rabbit looks at the soup with sparkling eyes. The black rabbit eats his fill and lets out a satisfied burp. Iona eats slowly and gracefully. Nearby, two frogs whisper in awe. The green onions are perfect. Before, even touching a locust would melt skin from poison, but now, completely detoxified. God tier. Garen praises Sejun openly, saying that thanks to his food, they could fight the locusts at all. Teo listens proudly with one eye closed. Sejun looks around at everyone and tells them to eat up, regain their strength, and then finish wiping out the locusts. The little bear immediately slams his bowl down. One more bowl. Nearby, a frog sighs sadly. Of course they have to get rid of the locusts, but once they're gone, this incredible dish will disappear too. Tragic, honestly. Sejun hears that and suddenly pauses. Ah, I forgot to mention something. He stands up with a mysterious look and says he has something to show them. He walks over to a door no one's really questioned until now, and Tae-oh finally asks what it's for. Sejun casually explains that he asked Iona to create a slightly special space. He opens the door. A blast of icy air pours out. It's a freezer. Iona explains they froze some of the locusts for the Mage Association to research, but the rest can be used as ingredients. A frog tilts his head and asks if bugs taste better when frozen. Garen yawns, saying maybe it's just cold, but either way, he's getting sleepy. Tae-oh starts shivering on the spot. Sejun realizes none of them understand frozen storage, so he explains it simply: if you keep food cold, it won't spoil easily. You can store it and eat it for a long time. Then he proudly credits Iona. Thanks to her, they now have a massive refrigerator. Iona puffs out her chest, then she adds that casting a semi-permanent freezing magic circle over an entire space is actually a high-level spell. Translation: this freezer is absurdly overpowered. The white rabbit looks at Iona with pure admiration. The little bear starts climbing the freezer wall like it's Mount Everest. One frog excitedly suggests freezing the detox green onions too, so they don't spoil. Sejun waves it off. The green onions are fine, he can just grow more. He pauses. It's getting kind of cold. A frog tilts his head. Farm, what's that? Sejun laughs, about to explain what farming is. Then suddenly stops. Iona looks at him. Something's wrong. Behind him, Tae-oh is shivering and complaining that it's too cold. Garen has already fallen asleep. The little bear is nearly stuck to the ice. The black rabbit is panicking, trying to pull him free. Sejun's eyes light up. I just had a great idea. Elsewhere, Aileen is deep in the tower library, frantically searching through books. She mutters that until Sejun returns, she has to do whatever she can. Tossing one book aside, she declares that she needs to find the greatest authority she can grant to Sejun as a mid-manager. She opens another book carefully. Her eyes shine. This is it. I finally found it. Hugging the book tightly, she whispers a quiet wish. You have to return safely, Sejun. A lizard reports first, voice sharp but relieved. Evacuation of the wounded is complete. A cat follows up, ears twitching, saying she can't sense any more locusts nearby. The yellow lizard lets out a long breath, pure relief written all over him. Another lizard beams. Finally, the fight is over. Immediately, the yellow lizard shuts that down. Way too early to celebrate, the war isn't over yet. He points ahead and reminds everyone that Manager Tae-oh and Garen, the two who basically carried half the battlefield, already moved toward Navia Swamp. If they're there, they're still fighting. And if they owe those two their lives, then standing around isn't an option. With a roar that snaps everyone back into soldier mode, he gives the order. All troops, march toward Navia Swamp. They charge forward, and then abruptly freeze. Everyone stares. What is going on here? Iona turns, pleasantly surprised. Lord Tomorrow has arrived, perfect timing. Tomorrow blinks, clearly trying to process the scene, and recognizes her as the head of the Mage Guild. He asks what on earth is happening. Iona laughs lightly and explains they're ending the locust battle right now. Then she gestures towards Sejun. All thanks to that idea. The representative of the Black Dragon. Sejun's eyes glow green, and suddenly he can see it, patches of ground highlighted in green like a farming minimap. He nods to himself. Okay, let's plant some here too. Tae-oh tilts his head, curious. Why bother splitting them up and planting them everywhere? Sejun explains calmly. Green onions need well-drained soil. Too damp, and they won't grow. Thanks to seed sowing level 51, he can now tell which ground is suitable for crops. Turns out the skill is way more useful than he expected. He looks over the field with confidence. The 67th floor can handle the locusts on its own. This was the goal from the start, to prevent the extinction of the jewel frogs. Right on cue, the system confirms it, a mid-manager quest to save the jewel frogs of Navia Swamp on the 67th floor. Then the black rabbit stiffens. The white rabbit asks what's wrong. They're coming. He grips his hammer and snarls. The bastards are back again. The frogs freeze in shock. Tae-oh groans, saying it doesn't matter how many times he sees them, locusts are still disgusting. The little bear is already chewing on a green onion, branch ready like a seasoned warrior who snacks mid-battle. Sejun raises his voice. Everyone! Chew the antidote green onions and raise your blade green onions. The system chimes in. Consuming one detoxifies poison of C rank or lower for an hour. Instantly, everyone readies up, branches, onion leaves, swords, and magic. Sejun grips his axe and dagger. Protect Navia Swamp. Lightning explodes from Iona. Frogs move in formation. The little bear smashes locusts into pieces. The black rabbit crushes them mercilessly. A lizard guards Sejun's back while the white rabbit supports him with magic as he slices through locusts like it's routine. Tae-oh shouts for Garen. Garen leaps, and light erupts. He transforms into a giant frog, drooling as he stares at the locusts. Looks delicious. His tongue spins like a helicopter blade and snatches a locust midair. The white rabbit gasps in awe. Sejun just stares, mouth wide open. Frogs start eating locusts. Lizards keep slashing. The purple locusts are changing color. They're degenerating. The system confirms it. As the locust population decreases, they revert from purple back to red. Morale skyrockets. Cheers erupt across the field. Sejun grins. Great, keep pushing them back. After what feels like an entire lifetime of bug swatting, everything finally goes quiet. Tae-oh lets out a long, dramatic sigh of relief, the kind that says I survived and I deserve a medal. To win without anyone getting hurt, he says, wiping sweat from his brow. That's the power of green onions. Sejun smiles behind him, clearly proud of his accidental vegetable-based warfare strategy. Nearby, Garen pats his stomach like someone who just finished an all-you-can-eat buffet, while the black rabbit efficiently stuffs the remaining locusts into a bag. No waste. Very professional. A lizard bows deeply. Great black dragon. One frog follows. Thank you for saving us. Another declares they'll farm the green onions properly and wipe out the remaining locusts themselves. Someone else adds that Navia Swamp can now protect itself. The frogs sound like they just unlocked self-sufficiency DLC. The system chimes in right on time. Quest complete. 3 million EXP, 50,000 tower coins. Sejun blinks. Then another message pops up. Level up. Level 50. Whoa, Sejun mutters, clenching his fist. Level 50. A lizard steps forward again, calling him Great Black Dragon, but this time his voice wavers. He admits he shares responsibility for the mess. Iona told him Tarek was the one feeding the locusts, and while he accepted rewards from Tarek, he never suspected anything. He offers the item he received as repayment. Sejun scratches his chin, then shakes his head. No, it's fine. He waves a hand casually. Use it to restore the 67th floor. It took quite a beating. A frog whispers something about the generosity of the black dragon, like they're witnessing a legend in real time. The system counts down. 30 seconds to return to the 99th floor. Light erupts. And in a flash, they're gone. When everything settles, Sejun takes a deep breath and adjusts his hat. It's been a while. This fresh air feels amazing. A wolf rushes over, clearly thrilled. Master Sejun has returned. Rabbits pour in next, practically vibrating with happiness. Sejun smiles and looks around. The baby rabbits have grown noticeably, too fast, honestly. Tae-oh hears rustling from his bag, and then a frog pokes his head out, staring around in awe. So this is the 99th floor? Tae-oh nearly jumps. Garen, you followed us all the way here? Sejun, meanwhile, is patting a baby rabbit when something occurs to him. He hasn't seen Bat. He asks if the little guy is adjusting well. The rabbit parents giggle and point toward the house. Inside, the queen bee is gently patting Bat. Sejun relaxes. Yeah, he's doing just fine. He steps outside and looks around again. The fields are thriving. Papa Rabbit explains that the residents of Grainier Village helped while Sejun was gone, though they've already scattered again for their wandering merchant jobs. Another rabbit tugs at his sleeve. Master Sejun, we prepared something while you were away. Please come see. They lead him to a structure. Sejun blinks. This is our cave? Then he notices the floor. Stairs, deep ones, no way. They lead straight into the cave itself. Sejun's face lights up. Now we can come and go without someone pulling us up from above. You guys really worked hard. Flame approaches. Master. Flame. Wait, did the purifying ents increase? Flame nods. Pasaki created more seeds, more ents, more protection. Sejun grins. That's nothing but good news. Then the system suddenly pops up, sounding almost offended. What? When did you get back? Sejun chuckles. Hey, Aileen, how've you been? She snaps back instantly, annoyed. Seeing his perfectly fine face makes her feel foolish for worrying. Then she adds that she has something to give him. Sejun blinks. Something, for me? She laughs softly and tells him to think of it as a reward for all his hard work. Her hand presses against the orb. Light flows out, and into Sejun. His body begins to glow. Look forward to it, she says. The greatest authority I could find. The system announces it. Authority granted, unbreakable body. The physical body will never be broken. Sejun looks down at himself, eyes wide. An unbreakable body? He just stands there for a moment, processing the fact that he went from farming green onions to becoming physically indestructible. Sejun pats his own arm, then his chest, clearly testing things out. He frowns. I'm not really feeling it yet. The little bear stares at him with sparkling eyes full of faith. Then, after a very short internal debate, he decides the best way to confirm immortality is violence. He smacks Sejun on the back of the head. Sejun's eyes bulge. He grabs his head and groans loudly. Ow! The little bear jumps up and down, absolutely thrilled. Daddy is strong now. Tae-oh nods seriously. It's true. You won't break. Sejun turns slowly, veins popping. Hey! I can still feel pain exactly the same. He points accusingly. And don't expect any dinner tonight. The little bear freezes. Devastation. Utter despair. Sejun exhales, then looks at Aileen. Anyway, this is incredible. Thanks, Aileen. She chuckles softly. Hee hee, I'll be in your care from now on. Right on cue, the system interrupts. A quest has been triggered. Sejun blinks. A new quest? The message expands. Job quest. Realize the joy of harvesting. Use the harvesting skill 100,000 times. 0/100,000. Rewards. Level 51 unlocked. 50,000 tower coins. All tower farmer job skills plus 1 level. Silence. Then, all at once, Sejun, Tae-oh, and the little bear shout, 100,000 harvests? Somewhere far away, in the Greedy Pig Palace, a very different kind of problem is unfolding. Lord Greed is admiring portraits of himself, clearly his favorite hobby, when a voice calls out urgently from the door. Lord Greed, I have an urgent report. Come in, he replies lazily. A crow demon rushes in. The Wandering Merchant Association has sent a summons. The situation is serious. Tarak has been captured. He failed to kidnap Princess Bubu, and during the interrogation, he mentioned Greed's name. Greed's face twists with fury. That total fool. He trembles with anger. He trusted Tarak as a fellow boar elder, even handed him an important relic. And now this? He demands to know if any evidence links Tarak back to him. The answer is immediate and grim. Iona, head of the Mage Guild, and the Inspection Bureau conducted a joint operation. Before Greed can react, a fox steps forward. I am arresting you on the spot for 8 criminal charges, including kidnapping, confinement, and blackmail. A boar stammers in disbelief. What? Where's the evidence? The crow responds coldly. Tarak confessed. The confession was recorded using a ring with a recording function. The playback begins. There's no point hiding it now, Tarak's voice says, drenched in panic. The locusts will multiply again, because we're the ones feeding them. Once everything is destroyed and food runs out, that place will fall under Lord Greed's rule. Sweat pours down the boar's face. As he reads through everything, he stays silent for a long moment, then calmly tears the document into pieces. Dismissed. The crow bows and leaves. Greed remains alone, shaking. To think, they would summon me. His expression hardens. Then I must step forth in person. He walks to a bookshelf and pulls aside a single volume. The shelf slides away, revealing a hidden passage. Down the stairs he goes, unlocking a heavy door with a key. Inside is a mountain of gold, piled high like a dragon's dream. At the center stands a dragon statue. A deep, ancient voice echoes from it. So, you are Greed. Greed drops to his knees instantly. This humble Greed greets you, O great white dragon. The white dragon hums, the sound heavy with power. Back on the 99th floor, things are unusually peaceful, almost too peaceful. Rabbits are scattered across the fields, happily harvesting vegetables. One rabbit gently waters Flame, who spins around with joy, dancing alongside chirping birds like she's in a musical. Near the pond, the little bear scoops up a bucket of water while baby rabbits stare at him with wide, starry eyes, clearly rethinking their life goals. A few rabbits try to offer their most precious vegetables to the white rabbit. She panics and awkwardly refuses, hands waving everywhere. Iona watches the whole scene from the side, looking like she's witnessing a wholesome sitcom she didn't sign up for. Then, 1, 2, 3, Mama Rabbit turns toward the noise. Sejun, Tae-oh, and the black rabbit are locked in a life-or-death struggle with a plant. They pull with everything they've got. Pull! Nothing. They tumble backward in a heap. Sejun pants. Phew, this is no joke. Tae-oh stares at the vine. I've never seen a sweet potato vine this huge before. There's definitely something massive down there. The black rabbit rubs his head, groaning. The little bear's eyes light up. A massive sweet potato? He grabs the vine. His body swells, muscles bulging, face serious like he's about to lift a mountain. From behind, Sejun cheers. Oh, good job. The little bear roars and yanks. Out comes a truly ridiculous sweet potato. Then the little bear shrinks back down, hugging it proudly. Sejun and Tae-oh just stare, mouths hanging open. The system calmly drops the bomb. Giant pumpkin sweet potato. A sweet potato grown in the tower. Delicious due to abundant nutrients, which were used entirely for growth. Provides no effects when consumed. Will not sprout even if planted. Expiration, 45 days. Grade, C. Silence, then chaos. Tae-oh jumps. The black rabbit beams. The little bear hugs the potato like a long-lost sibling. Sejun laughs in awe. This is amazing. One of these could feed all of us. I want to eat it now, Daddy, the little bear declares. Another system message pops up. Harvesting progress, 2,389/100,000. Sejun stares into the void. When am I ever going to finish this? Then he claps his hands. Let's eat first. Since little bear worked so hard, I'm taking back what I said about no dinner. Everyone cheers. Sejun summons the door with his key and looks at the little bear. Can you bring out 10 frozen purple locusts? Got it, Daddy. The little bear returns carrying frozen locust chunks. The wolf freezes. What is that? A rabbit recoils. Eek! Gross. Teo scoffs. You shouldn't judge food by appearances alone. These taste incredible. Sejun gets cooking. A rich aroma fills the air. He tastes it. Adding the giant sweet potato really boosted the sweetness. He hands a bowl to a chubby rabbit. Mama Rabbit gasps as the chubby rabbit immediately devours it. No hesitation, no fear, just pure commitment. He finishes, sighs happily. Want another bowl? Sejun asks. The empty bowl is silently handed back. That's all it takes. Everyone digs in. A gray rabbit shouts, "This is too delicious." Sejun smiles and hands a bowl to Iona. She gently refuses. It's all right, Sejun. We have business to attend to. The trial of Greed, landlord of the 55th floor. It's time he answers for his crimes. I see, Sejun says. So the white rabbit's going with you too. Have a safe trip. Then Garen calls out, Lord Teo. Teo turns. Enjoy your walk outside? Garen nods. Then looks at Sejun. I found something unusual. Sejun blinks. Unusual? They step outside. Sejun, Teo, and the little bear freeze. Sejun shouts, what is this? They all stare at the thing towering over them. Sejun squints up at the giant leafy crown. This is a carrot? The little bear tilts his head, dead serious. Even I can't handle this. Sejun scratches his chin. Then what do we do? Dig around it? Teo suddenly points dramatically, like he's throwing a pokeball. Leave it to me. Go, Garen. Garen glows, expands, and steps up to the plant like a pro wrestler entering the ring. He wraps his arms around the stalk. He pulls. Nothing. Sweat pours down his face. His body trembles. Sejun's eyes widen. Even Garen's strength isn't enough. Just what is buried down there? Then, wait, what's that sound? The little bear jumps. Ah. Mom. Mama bear charges him like a natural disaster, eyes blazing straight at Garen. The two lock eyes. Invisible sparks crackle in the air. Sejun panics. Guys, don't fight. Then realization hits him. Oh no. Garen came from another floor. He must have offended Mama Bear just by existing. Teo nearly loses his mind. No, Garen is my subordinate. The atmosphere is 1 second away from exploding. Then the little bear speaks up. Mom. There's a huge carrot right in front of us. I want to eat it, quickly. Everyone freezes. Mama Bear looks at the plant. Then at Garen. Sejun jumps in fast. Right, that's true. Do you think the two of you could pull it out together? Mama Bear and Garen exchange a glance. They nod. They grab the plant and pull. The ground shakes violently. Sejun braces himself. It's shaking like an earthquake. Just how big is this carrot? Mom, you can do it, the little bear cheers. They put everything into one final pull, and suddenly, the carrot rises. Straight into the air, floating. Everyone goes silent. Sejun stares. This is floating? System messages start popping like fireworks. You have harvested the red ribbon giant carrot altar. Job EXP has greatly increased. Harvest LV.4 proficiency has greatly increased. Harvest LV.4 proficiency is full. Level up. You have gained 10,000 EXP. Sejun blurts out, red ribbon giant carrot, altar. Papa Rabbit's jaw drops. Another system message appears. Special quest triggered. Within 24 hours, offer 100 each of 10 or more types of crops to the Red Ribbon Giant Carrot Altar and hold the Harvest of Abundance Festival. Reward, Harvest of Abundance Festival Job Skill, Crop Enlargement LV.1. Sejun rubs his face. A special quest too. It wants us to hold a harvest festival? Then he looks back at the floating carrot altar. What in the world are you? Papa Rabbit suddenly straightens up, eyes wide. This is definitely the legendary golden carrot altar passed down in the Red Ribbon Kingdom. Everyone leans in as he clears his throat and slips into full storytime mode. According to the legend of the Black Tower, one day a giant golden carrot sprouted from the earth. Naturally, everyone wanted it, and a huge fight broke out over who owned it. Then one rabbit cried out for peace and placed their own food before the carrot. One by one, the others followed, sharing what they had. Before anyone realized it, the fighting stopped and a peaceful festival was held. He spreads his arms dramatically. That festival became known as the Harvest of Abundance Festival. Sejun blinks. Okay, but why would something from the Red Ribbon Kingdom show up here? Papa Rabbit and Mama Rabbit go quiet. The little bear squints at the altar. It's not golden at all. Sejun nods. Fair point, but questioning it won't make it disappear. Guess we're doing this. He claps his hands. Harvest of Abundance Festival, let's go. He starts laying crops out like he's organizing groceries. Carrots. Cherry tomatoes. Sweet pumpkin potatoes. Corn. Potatoes. Green onions. He steps back. For now, that's it, right? Then he frowns. Wait, didn't we plant way more stuff than this? Papa Rabbit smiles. You're right, follow me. They turn the corner in. Whoa! Sejun's eyes sparkle. Strawberries? And Chongyang peppers? We bought those seeds together with the carrots before. Papa Rabbit nods proudly. You've all been working hard as tenant farmers while I was gone. Sejun lifts a strawberry like a trophy. Thanks to that, we've got 2 more crops to offer. Papa Rabbit raises a finger. 3. Huh? Papa Rabbit pulls out peanuts. Sejun laughs. Peanuts already? Is that because of that mysterious stone monument? Yes, it's speeding up growth. Sejun hands Papa Rabbit a strawberry. You raised them so well while I was gone. Thanks. Behind him, the little bear is already munching strawberries, juice all over his face. Sejun starts counting again. So, carrots, cherry tomatoes, sweet pumpkin potatoes, corn, potatoes, green onions, strawberries, chongyang peppers, peanuts. That's 9. 1 short, he sighs. The little bear droops. What a shame, Teo grins. There's 1 more. Sejun turns. What is it? Remember the 75th floor? The yellow fruit we planted after beating the frog queen. The little bear gasps. Pine horn. Sejun groans. It's pineapple. He rubs his chin. We didn't plant many, and it hasn't been long. No way we have 100 yet. If we harvest too early, they'll spoil. He exhales. Thinking won't fix it. Let's just harvest as much as we can for now. Everyone cheers. Meanwhile, far away in the central court of the merchant corridor, an owl judge slams his gavel. Defendant Greed. You deliberately caused the locust outbreak on the 67th floor. You ordered the kidnapping of Mage Association President Iona and Princess Pyupiu of the Red Ribbon Kingdom. In the past, you released locusts on the 55th floor, assassinated the king and queen, and seized the throne in an act of treason. The courtroom goes silent. This trial will now begin to judge you for these crimes. Greed lets out a low, sinister laugh. Sejun plucks a strawberry. And the system immediately chimes in like it's proud of him. Lucky strawberry. A strawberry grown inside the tower, packed full of nutrients, boosted by a farmer who clearly knows what he's doing. Eat it and your luck goes up for an hour. Sejun looks at the strawberry and smiles to himself. Yeah, I raised this. Around him, rabbits are harvesting with sparkling eyes, laughing and chatting like it's a picnic instead of a divine ritual. Then Sejun pulls out a chili pepper. Count this chili pepper. Eat it and your mind becomes calm for an hour. Sejun nods, impressed. Chili peppers, huh? Nice. I can finally make spicy food now. Alright, let's clear this side too. Crunch. That sound should not exist. Sejun slowly turns his head. The little bear is already chewing the chili. Time stops. Teo freezes mid-motion, chili still in his paw. Sejun's soul leaves his body. The little bear goes completely stiff, like a statue that forgot how breathing works. Then, he starts spewing fire from his mouth, spinning in place, tears streaming down his face. It burns! I'm gonna die! Sejun panics internally. Why didn't I stop him faster? Out loud, all he can manage is, just hold on. The spiciness will go away soon. The little bear's tongue is bright red, his eyes watery, his dignity gone. Teo stares at the chili in horror. What a terrifying crop. Sejun quickly grabs a basket of strawberries. Here, eat these. This should help. Meanwhile, despite the chaos, work continues. Sejun gathers everything neatly in front of the massive carrot altar, 100 of each crop. The wolf helps stack them. The little bear is still suffering dramatically off to the side, with Teo acting as emotional support. The rabbits watch in awe. Sejun steps back and counts. Good. 9 different types are ready. Then he hesitates. The system quietly reminds him he's already passed 10,000 harvests. Progress is great, but the altar needs 1 more crop type. Only pineapple is left, Teo says. Papa Rabbit clasps his hands together like he's about to negotiate with the heavens. We dedicate this to the golden carrot. Please accept our sincerity and bless us with abundance. The carrot altar suddenly glows. Sejun flinches. Huh? The system answers before anyone else can. 107 kinds of crops, 100 each, have been offered. Quest completed. The carrot begins absorbing the fruits and vegetables, light pouring into it like it's inhaling the harvest itself. Festival of Abundant Harvest has been held. It worked, Sejun blurts out. Papa Rabbit stares, trembling. Ah, this is... A blinding wave of light explodes outward, washing over the entire area. Far away, Aileen feels the orb react. This aura. Even farther, Minotaurs pause mid-march, staring at the glowing horizon. What is that light? The Minotaur King narrows his eyes. Everyone, prepare to move out. It's been a while since our last expedition. Back at the farm, Sejun just stands there, staring at the glowing carrot altar, strawberries in hand, chili-induced trauma still unfolding beside him, wondering what exactly he just set in motion. The central court of the merchant passage is loud, tense, and 1 bad sentence away from exploding. Iona slams her hands down and shouts, "This is impossible." Even the usually composed white rabbit looks shaken. Grid is acquitted, Iona snaps, disbelief written all over her face. Grid, meanwhile, leans back like he's watching a play he already memorized. Hee. The fox immediately jumps in. Judge, I will testify, all of this was orchestrated by Grid. The owl judge adjusts his gaze. However, there is no evidence. The fox holds up a ring. Then this is clear proof, is it not? The ring suddenly speaks, because of course it does. We are feeding them. When everything is devastated and food disappears, that place will fall under Lord Grid's rule. Gasps ripple through the court. Grid blinks, then smiles. That ring is indeed solid evidence. The fox stiffens. Finally, evidence that proves Tarek's crime, that is. Grid continues smoothly. I have no idea why that guy mentioned my name, though. The fox nearly loses it. Lies. You're the one who ordered it. The boar, Tarek, starts sweating bullets. The owl turns to him. Witness Tarek, is that true? Tarek looks at Grid. Grid meets his eyes, calm, unreadable, terrifying. Tarek's shoulders collapse. Tears spill out. I planned everything alone. To secure my position in the Boar Elder Council, I tried to frame Lord Grid. Iona slams the table so hard it echoes. Lies. Everyone knows you're all in this together. Grid finally turns to her, smiling gently, the kind of smile that ruins lives. In truth, all of this was orchestrated by that mage, Iona. The room freezes. Iona stammers. What are you suddenly saying? That makes no sense. Grid tilts his head. If I were to record you saying that, you'd be the one standing here instead. Heh, sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Iona clenches her teeth, barely holding it together. You're suspiciously calm. White Rabbit says nothing. He just watches, realizing too late how badly the board has tilted. Iona exhales sharply. We've been watching him. I didn't expect them to slip up this blatantly. The owl judge raises his gavel. I will now deliver the verdict. The courtroom holds its breath. There is no evidence proving the charges against the defendant Grid. However, there is also no evidence denying his connection to Tarek. Grid's smile doesn't fade. The charge of instigating crime will not be recognized due to insufficient evidence. However, until suspicions regarding the attempted harm toward Iona and Princess Pupu are cleared, contact is prohibited. Bang! The gavel slams down. Grid laughs softly, satisfied. Across the courtroom, Iona, White Rabbit, and the fox glare at him with pure hatred, while Grid walks free, exactly as he planned. Grid deliberately heads into a secluded back alley, the kind of place where business happens quietly. He calls out to Eidos, who appears and greets him respectfully, calling him Lord Grid. Grid explodes in anger. He snaps at Eidos for calling himself the deputy director of the Secret Inspection Bureau while shamelessly draining Grid's money through bribes. Eidos panics and apologizes repeatedly, clearly terrified. Hidden nearby, the fox officer overhears everything. When she realizes Eidos' identity, she's shocked. The deputy director himself, bribed? This isn't a small scandal, it's institutional corruption at the highest level. She follows silently, gathering proof with her own eyes. Grid then praises Eidos for one specific decision, not executing Tarek immediately. This is crucial. By keeping Tarek alive and putting him on the witness stand, they were able to twist the narrative and pin everything on him. With Tarek no longer useful, Grid coldly orders Eidos to dispose of him appropriately. Grid then hands Eidos a token. Eidos reacts in shock and awe. It's the White Dragon's sigil, an extremely rare and powerful item that shouldn't even exist inside the tower. He asks how Grid managed to obtain something from outside the tower. Grid responds with a calm, chilling question. Is Eidos willing to die just to know? Eidos immediately backs down, bowing and apologizing. At that exact moment, the fox steps out and reveals herself. Freeze! She publicly names both of them, Grid, landlord of the 55th floor, and Eidos, deputy director of the Secret Inspection Bureau, and declares them under arrest for smuggling items from outside the tower. Eidos recognizes her instantly and panics, shouting her name. Grid, on the other hand, just reacts with mild amusement. Eidos tries to stop her, calling her actions foolish. Grid laughs, clearly entertained. He even compliments the fox, saying she's sharper than Eidos, mocking him for being careless enough to get followed. Eidos raises his hands in surrender, silently begging Grid for help. Grid sighs, as if disappointed. Then, without warning, he stabs Eidos in the back. Eidos screams and collapses. The fox is stunned. This wasn't part of any calculation. Grid just murdered his own ally without blinking. He then casually looks at the fox and says a position just opened up, asking if she wants to work with him. It's not a joke, and it's not really an offer, it's intimidation. The fox refuses immediately and orders Grid to drop his weapon. Grid throws away the dagger and calmly tells her to arrest him if she wants. He's completely confident, saying he'll just be released again anyway. As Grid bends down to pick up the White Dragon's sigil, the fox panics, and fires her gun. At Grid, the bullet stops midair. Frozen. The sigil glows in Grid's hand, confirming its terrifying power. He mocks her, if you can arrest me, that is. A burst of energy strikes the fox, sending her crashing to the ground in pain. An energy shield forms around her, likely preventing her death but leaving her helpless. Grid walks over, sits down in front of her like they're having a casual conversation, and grins. That earlier offer to work together, he makes it clear now, it was never a joke. The moment the system announces the Harvest Festival has begun, the entire 99th floor changes. Manna floods the air, thick, rich, and almost visible. Everyone just stands there for a second, staring around like they've stepped into a buffed-up version of reality. The wolf instinctively sniffs the air, senses on high alert. Little Bear starts waving his paws wildly, grinning ear to ear, shouting that power is overflowing inside him, like he just drank 10 energy drinks at once. Bat watches him in pure awe, probably thinking, is this what peak performance looks like? Then another system message drops, the special quest is complete, and Sejun receives a new job skill, Crop Gigantification LV.1. Even Queen Bee flinches at the sudden rumbling, and that's when everyone hears it, a distant rumbling sound. Before anyone can guess, the Minotaur King comes charging in with his entourage, shouting Sejun's name like he's answering a battlefield summons. Sejun nearly jumps out of his skin. The Minotaur King points straight at the floating carrot altar and roars, demanding to know what that gigantic, golden, unbelievably delicious-smelling grass is. Sejun casually greets him like they're old neighbors. That's when Garen steps in, offended on Sejun's behalf, declaring that Sejun is no ordinary person, he's the tower's mid-manager Black Dragon. The Minotaur King bristles immediately and fires back that he is the boss of the 99th floor. The tension spikes fast. Garen goes, huh? Sejun goes, whoa, easy. He hurriedly smooths things over, reminding everyone that this is a festival. Fighting during a harvest festival is bad vibes, bad luck, and probably bad system penalties. Just then, a Minotaur girl mentions something strange. There were tons of street vendors on the way in, in the tower, during a festival. Sejun heads over, and suddenly it clicks. A raccoon pops out, arms wide, shouting like a carnival announcer. The raccoon merchant troupe has arrived. Bright stalls, goods everywhere, pure chaos energy. Sejun is stunned. Even Teo, an actual wandering merchant, admits he's never seen anything like this. The raccoon proudly explains that wherever the harvest festival appears, they appear too. It's tradition. Teo, ever the professional, immediately asks if they reported to the Wandering Merchants Association. The raccoon blinks, has no idea what that even is. Priorities, apparently. That's when Sejun spots it. Rice cake. The raccoon salesman goes into full pitch mode, warm, chewy, freshly made, buy 2 get 1 free. Sejun quietly says no, then immediately dumps an absurd amount of tower coins on the counter and screams for everything. The raccoon freezes, staring at the mountain of coins in horror. Sejun doesn't care. He stares at the rice cake like it's a long-lost soulmate. Takes one slow bite. Little Bear watches from behind, drooling so hard it's almost a hazard. Sejun's whole soul leaves his body. This is it. This is the taste. Day 267 in the tower, his first taste of rice in 267 days. A historical moment. Little Bear eyes sparkle like he's witnessing a miracle. Teo notices Sejun's expression and just smiles quietly. He gets it. Then another raccoon merchant calls out, showing off cute items. Teo freezes mid-step. His paws start glowing gold. He gasps. His golden paws are reacting. Before he can stop himself, his paw moves on its own, slams down on a key like it's destiny, and he blurts out, "It's this." The raccoon merchant jumps in surprise. Teo stares at the key in his hand. How much is this? It starts with the little bear happily chewing on a rice cake. Absolutely loving that chewy texture. The rabbits are right there with him, munching away like it's a picnic, while Bat just stares, clearly thinking, what is this squishy magic brick and why is everyone obsessed with it? The little bear casually drops that this is his first time eating something like this, which already makes it feel kind of special. Even the raccoon merchants are hyping it up, proudly calling it chewy and delicious like seasoned food influencers. Then Sejun calmly pulls out a jar of thick, golden honey, and the mood instantly changes. The little bear watches him like he's performing forbidden magic. His instincts kick in, drool included. Sejun's face? Pure satisfaction. The man knows exactly what he's about to do. He takes a rice cake sausage, dips it deep into the honey, no moderation, no shame, and lifts it out, glowing in the sunlight like a legendary item. Sejun straight up announces that if you want to enjoy rice cakes properly, honey is mandatory. Then he takes a bite himself. And yeah, mentally leaves the tower. Chewy plus sweet hits him so hard he basically ascends. He immediately starts evangelizing, showing the little bear, the rabbits, even Bat, telling them to dip their rice cakes too. The raccoons crowd in, calling Sejun customer while staring at the honey like it's divine nectar. One of them seriously wonders if this golden liquid is some kind of almighty seasoning that makes everything taste better. Sejun casually explains it's honey, sweet liquid made by bees from flowers, which somehow only makes it sound more mythical in a tower full of monsters. Mama Rabbit tries it, and instantly joins Sejun in food heaven. Everyone else is now painfully curious. Sejun even offers the honey to the raccoons, who look terrified, like they're being handed a cursed artifact. One raccoon cautiously licks a bit off his paw. And that's it, his soul leaves his body. He starts hallucinating giant honey cubes, mentally diving into them, realizing he has tasted the peak of sweetness and nothing in life will ever compare again. The raccoon straight up looks like he's developing honey withdrawal on the spot. Rolling around and questioning reality. No bitterness, no artificial taste, just pure, fragrant sweetness. Sejun watches all this with the proud smile of a man who knows he just changed lives. But then the problem hits. Sejun bought all the rice cakes. The raccoons realize they may never experience this heavenly combo again. They timidly ask if they can maybe have just one rice cake dipped in honey. Sejun immediately shuts that down. The raccoons go pale, like someone just told them happiness was discontinued. Sejun starts acting defensive too, implying they might be trying to reclaim the rice cakes he already paid for. Plus, this honey? Super rare. Takes hundreds of days to collect. The little bear almost blurts out that their warehouse is literally overflowing with honey, only to get another rice cake shoved into his mouth before he can expose the family business. Problem solved. Sejun recovers instantly. Now he switches to merchant mode. If the raccoons want the honey rice cake combo, they'll have to trade. The raccoons panic until one of them steps forward with their pride and joy, a thick white liquid. Rice wine. Sejun loses his mind. The little bear has no idea what it is. But Sejun knows exactly how valuable this stuff is. Meanwhile, the raccoon is shocked that Sejun recognizes it at all, since it's made using their guild's secret recipe. Sejun casually explains fermentation, yeast, and alcohol like he's reading the recipe off the label. At that point, the raccoons realize this guy is not a normal customer. You don't play checkers with someone playing chess and farming honey on the side. Sejun hesitates though. The honey is rare, too rare. The raccoons pull out their saddest merchant faces. After some internal struggle, Sejun decides to be generous. 1 jar of honey for 1 bottle of rice wine. The little bear watches in awe as his dad negotiates like a pro. Handshake done. Deal sealed. Finally, the raccoons get what they've been dreaming about. They dip the rice cakes into honey, and immediately transcend again. In their minds, rice and honey blend into the perfect balance of chewy, savory, fragrant sweetness. Best thing they've ever tasted across all towers. Sejun casually drops a bonus tip too, telling them honey goes absolutely insane with grilled rice cakes. The raccoon leader, now fully converted, offers him a cup of rice wine. Sejun keeps a straight face, but inside he's wondering how long it's been since he tasted real, traditional alcohol. The little bear begs for the white liquid too and gets immediately shut down. Wine is adult-only content. The bear pouts, betrayed by age restrictions, while Sejun finally gets his taste. Right when Sejun is about to enjoy his hard-earned rice wine, the universe decides, absolutely not. The sky suddenly darkens, the mood flips, and this grumpy, ancient voice drops out of nowhere, basically asking, "Did someone say alcohol?" Sejun freezes mid-sip like he's been caught stealing snacks at midnight. Then reality itself starts shaking as this massive, stone-like presence descends from above. Turns out it's Kaiser, controlling a gigantic black dragon statue, making one of the loudest festival entrances imaginable. The ground cracks, stone pillars loom, and the raccoon merchant guild instantly goes into full panic mode. They've never seen anything like this, and in their minds, this is it. End of business. Sejun, though, surprisingly calm. Nervous, sure, but more confused than terrified. He's just wondering why a legendary black dragon would show up at a harvest festival over snacks. Kaiser clears that up immediately. Someone mentioned alcohol, and as a seasoned dragon connoisseur of fine drinks, he simply couldn't stay away. Sejun explains that he's in the middle of trading honey for rice wine with the raccoon merchants. And the moment Kaiser hears that, a light bulb goes off. He instantly recognizes them as merchants from the Golden Tower. That revelation shocks Sejun, while the raccoons practically start vibrating from fear. They hurriedly confirm it and apologize just in case they've somehow offended a dragon by existing. But Kaiser just laughs it off. No disrespect at all, turns out the master of the Golden Tower is one of his old drinking buddies. If the rice wine comes from there, it's certified top tier. The raccoons relax, a little. Encouraged, they even step closer with a giant pot of rice wine, offering the dragon a taste. Meanwhile, Kaiser shifts his attention to Sejun and casually compliments him, saying he's doing a great job as a mid-level tower manager. Apparently, it's been ages since the Black Tower had a harvest festival this lively. Coming from a dragon, that's basically a 5-star review. Kaiser laughs, thanks Sejun, and invites him to drink together. Sejun nervously holds his cup, trying to act cool while drinking with a legendary being. But just as Kaiser is about to take a sip, he gets interrupted by a system message from none other than Aileen. Instant mood shift, Kaiser stiffens like a kid caught skipping chores. His granddaughter is calling, reminding him about a task he completely forgot. Aileen sighs in disappointment, clearly already tired of his nonsense, and decides she'll handle it herself. That somehow scares Kaiser even more. He immediately backpedals, promises to take care of it right now, and begs her not to block him. Sejun can only laugh awkwardly at the scene, an all-powerful black dragon getting scolded. Kaiser turns back to Sejun, apologizes, and says he has to go. Sejun stops him just long enough to tell him to travel safely, and promises to save his share of the rice wine. That earns him instant approval. The stone dragon statue lifts off with ridiculous force, shooting into the sky as Kaiser declares Sejun the best. Once the dragon is gone, the raccoons finally breathe properly again. One of them genuinely thinks his heart nearly gave out. Meeting Sir Black Dragon in the Black Tower was not on their merchant bingo card. And just as they're recovering, Sejun casually drops another bombshell, telling them he'll buy everything they have if they hand over all the information they know about the Golden Tower. The scene picks up back on the 99th floor. White Rabbit and Iona have returned, and Black Rabbit is doing her best emotional support friend routine, telling White Rabbit to stay strong and all that. Still, White Rabbit can't wrap her head around the fact that Grid was released. She's confident the pig will pay eventually, but the how is what bothers her. Iona reassures her that Grid isn't exactly free. He's under strict surveillance now and will be investigated properly. And next time, she's absolutely not letting him slip away. Black Rabbit nods along like, yes, this time we catch him. Seeing both of them so fired up actually cheers White Rabbit up a bit, and she smiles genuinely, thanking them. Then her mood shifts again, because she feels it. A huge amount of mana is flooding the 99th floor. Way too much to ignore. When she looks ahead, the answer becomes obvious and ridiculous. Minotaurs are everywhere drinking rice wine. They're absolutely gone. These massive beasts are acting like lightweight college freshmen, one sip in, already tipsy, feeling amazing, and desperately wanting more. Dancing, swaying, overflowing with energy. White Rabbit just stares, clearly thinking, what in the world happened while we were gone? That's when Teo strolls in, happy to see everyone back. Iona immediately asks the obvious question, why does it feel like the entire floor is on mana steroids? Teo gestures toward the dancing minotaurs and casually explains that while they were away, the Harvest Festival of Abundance started. All three of them freeze. Harvest Festival of what? The scene then shifts back to the Raccoon Merchant Guild, who finally introduce themselves properly. They're from the Golden Tower, which is ruled by a massive great golden dragon, Artemis, and apparently, she's female. Not only that, but the crops they brought were grown by a tower farmer personally favored by Artemis. Her name is Cecilia. Sejun is stunned. Other towers have tower farmers too? That's news to him. His farming brain immediately switches on, and he asks the raccoons if he can get rice seedlings from Cecilia. The raccoons blink. Seedlings? Sejun patiently explains, young rice sprouts. If not that, seeds are fine too. If they could grow rice in the Black Tower, it would benefit both towers. Efficient farming, shared success, everyone wins. The raccoon leader gets it and promises to pass the message along, at the next Harvest Festival. That's when Sejun's excitement quietly deflates. Next festival? How long would that even take? The raccoons explain that they can only travel between towers when the Harvest Festival opens the portal. Sejun can't help feeling a little down. Rice is so close, yet so far. Then, light. A golden shimmer appears behind him, and Little Bear spots it first. Of course it's the giant carrot. Right on cue, a system notification announces that the first competition of the Harvest Festival is about to begin. Everyone is instructed to gather in front of the red ribbon giant carrot altar. Sejun's confused. A carrot harvesting contest? Before he can think too hard about it. The Minotaurs charge and, literally, they grab Black Rabbit and the others like plush toys and rush toward the altar, completely intoxicated by the sweet smell in the air. Sejun and Little Bear can only stare, trying to figure out what the Uma King is even holding in those massive hands. When Sejun finally arrives at the farm, he's hit with another shock. Every single crop is fully grown again, carrots everywhere. He just harvested yesterday, less than 24 hours ago. Papa Rabbit calmly explains that this is the power of the golden carrot altar. The entire area is basically turning into one massive carrot field now. Everyone stares in awe as another system message pops up. For the next 10 minutes, whoever harvests the most carrots gets a special reward. Instant chaos. Rabbits, wolves, Little Bear, Minotaurs, everyone's ready. Sejun, Queen Bee, deciding to give it a try since there's an actual reward involved. He checks if everyone's ready. And the Uma King is fired up, fully convinced the Minotaurs are about to dominate. Meanwhile, the raccoons turn into full-on cheerleaders, pulling out musical instruments and dancing around, hyping everyone up. Teo is cheering loudly for his chairman. But Iona notices he's not participating and asks why. Teo shrugs and explains he's a wandering cat merchant, not a farmer. Fair enough. Bat wanders over and Teo asks why the three of them aren't enjoying the festival. Iona answers honestly, they're not in the mood. White Rabbit adds that feeling powerless like this is frustrating. Grid is free again, and they need to move fast and plan their next move. Then the entire 99th floor begins glowing green. Everyone turns as the giant golden carrot shifts color, light pulsing through it. The signal is clear. The contest has begun. The whole farm instantly turns into controlled chaos, in the best way. Sejun and Papa Rabbit are absolutely cracked, pulling 2 carrots at the same time like it's nothing. Meanwhile, the queen bees are struggling with just one, which is kind of sad but also a little funny considering how intense they usually are. Sejun suddenly realizes this is perfect for him. He's got that ridiculous quest that needs him to harvest 100,000 times, and now he can grind it while enjoying a festival. Peak efficiency. 2 birds, 1 carrot field. And then the Minotaurs decide, nah, farming is optional. Instead of pulling carrots, they just start jumping and body slamming the ground, and the carrots straight up pop out from pure brute force. Sejun and Papa Rabbit freeze like, wait, is that allowed? It's such a Minotaur solution that you can't even be mad. Before Sejun can recover from that shock, Little Bear decides he's not letting his dad lose under any circumstances. He transforms back into his giant form and starts yelling like he's announcing the end of the world. Sejun nearly jumps out of his skin. Then Little Bear slams 1 foot into the farm and, boom, cracks spread through the ground, carrots go flying everywhere like projectiles. One of those spinning carrots absolutely nails Iona and knocks her down. Theo and White Rabbit panic immediately, rushing over, but Iona, still teary, puts on her proud wizard face and announces that she's totally fine because she's the head of the Wizard Association of the tower, thank you very much. The timing is so dramatic that White Rabbit just loses it and starts laughing. Even she apologizes right away, but honestly, it's the first real smile she's had in a while. That's when White Rabbit admits something important, maybe they shouldn't be the only ones carrying their worries. Everyone else has decided to enjoy the festival, at least for now. So she says she's fine and tells them to enjoy it properly. Black Rabbit notices she's finally smiling again, and Iona smiles too. It's quiet, but it feels like a small emotional reset. Elsewhere on the farm, things somehow get even more ridiculous. Little Bear and the Uma King are now racing each other, both refusing to lose. The Uma King is staking his pride as the boss of the 99th floor, and Little Bear is just shouting that victory is already his. Then, out of nowhere, both of them start glowing with golden psychic energy and slowly lift into the air. The raccoons have absolutely no idea what's happening. Even Little Bear and the Uma King look scared now, realizing they're floating with zero control. Then they notice something worse, or better, all the harvested carrots are floating too. Sejun and the others are caught in the same golden aura, stuck midair and wondering who just broke reality. Turns out, it's Iona. Her staff is glowing gold as she casually explains that because the entire floor is overflowing with the mana of abundance, she can pull off anti-gravity magic on this scale. No big deal. She lifts everyone and every carrot at once, neatly gathering them in midair, and just like that, the contest ends. The system announces the results, and it's hilarious. First place, Iona, with nearly 30,000 carrots. Second place, Little Bear, with 450. Third place, Uma King, with 389. Sejun slams back onto the ground complaining about how unfair this is, which is fair, he didn't even get to compete against gravity magic. Little Bear shrinks back down, completely satisfied, and happily tells Iona it was super fun and that he wants to do it again sometime. Theo is fully impressed and praises Iona like a proud fanboy. Sejun quietly starts thinking that maybe learning magic wouldn't be such a bad idea if this is how competitions are going to be from now on. Nearby, White Rabbit and Black Rabbit are laughing together, actually relaxed for once, while the golden carrot begins to glow again, clearly getting ready for the next contest. And then the mood shifts hard. The scene cuts to a dark, ominous place where a blue portal opens. Aileen steps out, restrained with armor-like bindings, chained in place. Her grandfather asks if she's ready. She already knows what's coming. If this is going to happen, it has to be during the Harvest Festival, when the 99th floor is overflowing with energy. Kaiser tells her he's going to directly cast polymorph using a special device. He activates it, and massive power surges through Eileen's body. She struggles, and he asks anxiously if she's okay, but she refuses to stop. All she can think about is Sejun, and finally being able to meet him properly. As the magic continues, her body slowly begins to change. Her silhouette stretches, becoming taller, more refined, more human. The outline of a beautiful woman forms as the transformation pushes forward, still glowing with that overwhelming power.